Alright, ladies and gents, welcome back to the Let's Play. In between episodes, I've been processing as much leather as I possibly can. We're now up to 23, which is almost enough to get the saddle and bridle for the elk. I've also been working on some wall designs, so we've got some examples here. We've got a mixture of granite cobblestone and granite dry stone, as well as granite bricks and the polished granite, all the different types of granite, with some chalk on the inlay here. Tried to make like a circular archway thing, but still square in the middle so we can just fit a door easily. And I'll probably end up combining both of these designs together for one of the next buildings that we're going to make. I've also been working on a pathway here because our town's coming along nicely, but at the moment it's just kind of a collection of random buildings. So we need something to bring it together, and every town brings it together with a town square usually. So we're going to start working on a town square over here. This is the design that I think I'm going to go with. So if you see where all the dark bits are here, we've basically chiseled them in to make them look more like bricks and stick out more, pop a bit more. And in the middle, we've got fanned shale cobblestone. I've currently run out of shale stones, so this is as far as we're going to get today with this. But I did want to show off something else from the Chisel Tools mod. And over here, we've got a path maker. So with this tool, as long as you have paths in your inventory, this path block here, you can right click, I believe, right click on a chiseled block to then turn it into a path so that you get the sprint speed boost that you get on these paths on any chiseled block you want. So that's the plan here. And yeah, we're going to do this obviously all the way along, so the whole town square gives us a nice sprint speed boost when we're running through it. Also, because the plan for today is to claim our elk friend, I've also been working on building him a home. So over here I've started on a small barn just for the elk. Maybe if we eventually get wolves tamed, we might throw some of them in here as well. But for now, just the elk. And I'm not a big fan of this roof. No matter what I do, I can't really get it to look good. Because the roof blocks are quite limited, we only have one angle, one type of roof. And for this shape, I tried to do like a kind of circular shape, flat on top, and give a bit of variety to the roofs that we have in our town here. And it just doesn't look very good, quite frankly. I tried to mix it up with slabs and different block types, but to be honest, I'm at a loss. So I decided to install another mod, and that mod is called VS Roofing Mod, and that is what we see over here. So as you can see, the roof is very, very different. And let's go and do a quick example of how this mod works. Okay, so over here we've got lots of different layouts of blocks. And we're going to put roofs on all of these blocks to show off the different kinds. So, first of all, hammer in your offhand and have some planks on you. There is also a recipe for sticks and cattails for the early game, but once you get planks, it's better to use planks, I believe. So, while you're holding the planks and with the hammer in your offhand, if you press F, it now brings up a menu. And this menu is going to allow you to have lots of different types of roofs. So, for now, we're going to go with standard, but we're going to go to manual configuration. And here we can choose all the different angles of the roofs we want. So first, let's just go with the regular standard roof type. Right click with our boards and we get a foundation for the roof. You can do this with different types of wood and you get different types of wood showing. Then if you shift right click, you add an underlayer to it. You can also mix and match these so we can have oak on the bottom and walnut on top. Then shift right click again to add the top of the roof, the shingles. And you can also do this with shingles. And they mix and they also have the height difference, which I really like. But you will see that there's a gap underneath, and that's because if you press Control right click, you can add a block type to the underside, which also means you can mix another block type, so you can have different types on the top and on the underside. I believe you can also do this with bricks. No, maybe not. Oh, yes, I'm pressing shift and not control. So, yep, control click. You can also add bricks like that. Really cool. Now, let's try and switch up the angle of the roof. So, for this one, we want to go 2 across for every 1 block up. So, if we press this, we can have 2 across for every 1 up, 3 across for every 1 up, or 2 up for every 1 across. You kind of get the gist. So, right click for the first one. Then we'll switch to the next mode, right click on there, and we've got a nice, much shallower angle. You can see the difference in the angle from these beams. And again, shift click to add the different materials. And then here we're going to go 2 blocks up, 1 block across. So just like that. Add the outsides. And just like that, you start to get an idea of all the different types of roof that you can do. And obviously you can try and mix and match all of these different angles and put something together. That's what I've tried to do over here. So from up here you can see a lot better. I've got 3 across, 1 up for the top. 2 across, 1 up for this side. Then a normal roof. And then we've switched it up with 2 up, 1 across. And then this one, I followed that same angle and then made a different angle. And then added an eave to it, because that's another thing. If we press F, we go back here. You can add ridges, you can add eaves, you can change the direction, and all of these you can have different configurations. There's so much potential, so much different things you can do with this roof. Hello, friend. Thanks for interrupting me there. So the plan is to get rid of this old ugly roof, and we're going to replace it with a much nicer roof, following this angle of what we've got here. But the block types we're going to use, we're going to have a walnut trim with red shingles in the middle, just like we've got on our basic starter house. So I'm going to get started tearing this thing down and replacing the roof. Oh, actually, quickly, before we do that, I also made a whole bunch of nails and strips, because we want to have some big, giant gates. Alright, there we go. Big, beautiful gates. And I kind of wish I'd rounded off the trim for the door, but the chisel durability is getting real low, and it's not worth the effort, I think. So I'm just going to have it like this. Big old gates. We've got 2 strips left over, which is really handy because I have some 3x1 door holes just over here, sorry. And just like that, we've got a back door as well, because we've got a nice chicken of the woods tree growing over here. Absolutely tons of mushrooms growing on that thing. So yeah, I'm going to get to work replacing the roof with our new VS Roofing mod roof, and hopefully it starts looking a lot better than it does here. Okay, I've got all the materials in for the roof. It's actually been a couple of weeks since I started the video. This is how it looks naturally. I've added a couple of blocks in to kind of smooth off the curve, because usually you can't chisel roof blocks, and I'd just been assuming that that's the case with this VS Roofing mod, but it seems you can chisel. It's time to make the saddle and claim our elk. Saddle for the elk. Okay, and there we go. There's the bridle. Okay, we're at the treasure hunter. Same dude that I handed the quest into, so still got that elk for sale. How much would it cost if I gave you this thing? 50. I do have the saddle and bridle. What a lovely treasure. Pleasure doing business. Thanks. I'll take care of him. Hopefully he's spawned outside. Hopefully it's not glitched out. I have seen some things on the Reddit where they hand the quest in, pay for it, and it doesn't even spawn. Oh, no, he's definitely spawned. That is a big boy. How am I going to get him out of there? Damn. Hopefully he fits through the gate. Okay, we have to put these on ourselves, so... I might need a thing. He's just going to climb straight out. Okay. Fair enough, dude. I'm glad you can climb out. Control right click. And you do actually, so I have seen some things with the elk, you do actually have to click on certain parts of the animal to attach certain things. So click on his face to attach the bridle. And now, oh yes, we can actually ride him. There we go. And can we, oh yep, control to sprint. This is amazing. I think you can find these and tame them in the wild, but it's you have to be extremely far north, and they're extremely rare. I think you can also craft a bone flute. We gotta be really careful of holes and stuff. I remember from my terra firma craft days, just falling down a hole on your mount is quite possibly the worst thing you can do. Okay, well, here you are, Mr. Elk. This is gonna be your home forever and always. Seems like it should be big enough. We'll get a trough in here so that he can actually eat out of troughs, I believe. And we'll gather up our blankets, medallions, anything we can use to pimp him out. We'll also grab a lantern. Also, the issue with these guys not trading the bread, I'm pretty sure it was the freshness of the bread. Because as soon as I made some fresh stuff, this guy traded it immediately. And yeah, got a whole bunch of gears. He is selling blankets, but I already have one. And we also have a couple of medallions. Also, I yoinked a lantern from the lantern shop. Hopefully we can trade for some more soon and replace them. And all the walls that I was working on over there, we've moved over here. Got this one with the pillars, and then I've rotated it around, copied it, added some windows. Same door. We'll do the same thing here. And this is going to be a combination of buildings. Some type of combination of bakery. And also a winery with, we'll have a nice big cellar underneath this as well. First of all, let's put these gadgets and widgets on our elk. Control and right click. Yep, there we go. Alchemist blanket, and between the two medallions, this one looks nicest on the little gooey thing. I'm not sure how they will look on his face though, so let's try it. Control. That's kind of cool. I think we have to open hand to get rid of it, and let's try that. That one looks better, and it also goes better with the color of this, I think. And now the lantern, I believe, has to be under his chest like that. So control right click, and there we go. We have a walking light source. Stand up and we can get a better look at that. Cool. He's all pimped out. He's got his blanket, his little medallion. I think all that's really left to put on him is some saddlebags, and I think we can store some tools on him as well, but we don't really need to do that right now. Yeah, just like, yeah, that's pretty cool. You can store a spare sword. Can I put the bow on him maybe? Yeah, that's pretty sick. Not gonna lie. Okay, now when it comes to the roof, first of all, we're gonna have to use this wrench and rotate the planks, because we're using a horizontal plank, and default it goes vertical. We're gonna have to get in there with the wrench and change these all to be horizontal. Okay, and we're just going to go with something kind of like this. Just round it off a little bit, not going into too much detail. We may go as small as the 2x2x2, but for now, I'm sticking to 4x4x4. Okay, I rounded it off. It's still not the best shape. It's still a bit rough around the edges, but it's certainly a better shape than it was before. And as we go further back, it looks better and better, I think. Yeah, it looks pretty good from back here. Not so great up close, but we're not really going to be up close or using this building too often, just when we want to grab our elkman. Our friend. Speaking of our friend, we need to give him a name, so I've made myself a sign, and we're going to name it. I think to write on the signs, you need to have charcoal, so we're going to try this out. Place the sign there, and yeah, shift right click with something like charcoal or chalk, and then you can write yourself a sign. So we're going to name him Ronald Big Ounce Elkman. And unfortunately we're starting to shiver because it is getting pretty cold now. Everything's turning frosty, and it's getting pretty close to winter, I think. Let's check the date. It's now November, and yeah, that means it's probably going to start snowing in just a few days, and it's going to start getting cold for a good few months. So yeah, in between episodes I have gathered a bunch of chalk as well as a bunch of shale for doing the roads, and I did get one load of artifacts from our story trip. One load was all I could manage, and there's still probably at least 2 full inventories worth of stuff back there, so I'm going to have to work on getting that. But now I think it's time for me to start working on some progress on this. Yeah, this golden brown wattle and daub, it's okay. It's not my favorite, but in terms of what we can actually make, because a lot of these things actually require high fertility soil. Some of these recipes want medium, so I'm kind of going for anything that requires just regular low fertility soil. Granite sand, that is actually, yo, I didn't see that before. I've been using chalk. That is actually W. That's the one right there. That's the one, because there's a whole bunch of granite sand over this way in the desert biome, pretty much where we got the elk from. Clay is starting to become an issue. This eyesore down here is where I've pretty much leveled out my entire clay patch. There's probably a good few stacks left, but it's getting pretty barren down here. The chicken situation is yeah, it's out of control. That is a ridiculous amount of chickens. We're looking good on the farm animal sides, and our little baby sheep has grown up as well. He's a generation 1 male. Yeah, that's you. Get it? You. Unfortunately, he's a male. We don't really need males, but she's pregnant again, so hopefully we'll get another one soon. But yeah, that's it for the little animal update. I'm going to try and work on building this out. The granite sand is, that's a W. That's going to save me so much more time. I don't have to grind all of the chalk down into sand using this thing here. Can't remember what it's called. The rubble thing. Also, by the way, if you notice the different textures, we're mixing cobblestone and dry stone. If you didn't know how to use the dry stone, it's basically you take the recipe for cobblestone, just like that, and instead of clay in the middle, you use the ashlar blocks, and then you get yourself some dry stone. So it's half as much, but it's a lot easier. If you don't have clay, you can get tons and tons of it. Alright, so I'm going to get working on this building here, the bakery. It's basically just going to be a case of copy and pasting all of these things. Luckily, I do have some extra chalk, ashlar, bricks, all the stuff we need. Copy and pasting these and then rotating them into place. Alright, well, I've been doing a lot of work on this thing off camera, and I think we're getting close to being finished with the basic structure of this building. So first of all, I've added this strange little outcropping extra thing, variation to the roof, just to try and give the build some character, some variation, so that it's not just a big block, a big square rectangle block thing. Added some beams to this side, tried adding some beams to this side and this side, but they're not playing ball with me, so we're going to hold off on the beams for now. We've still got some work to do on the roof. Not all of the tiles are in, but most of this is in. In here, I've been working on some kind of a kitchen. We've got some cupboards designed, some cupboards and drawers. And because I added the variation to the roof, I had to add these blocks here so that it doesn't look strange. And it's, yeah, we had to work around it, do some kind of thing. But it worked out nicely, I think, with this interesting little area here, which I'm going to have as like a sleeping quarters for whoever is populating this build. Hopefully some kind of agricultural trader or something. We've got a little supervisor here too. And I wasn't really sure what to do down here. I was thinking of having some kind of shop area, but there's not really going to be much. So I thought of a shop plus like a little cafe dining area. Okay, I just realized if you want to do any of this modded VS roofing stuff, you need to have the hammer in your offhand for any of this to work. So let's try with the half slabs. Yes, it does. It does work with the half slabs. That's amazing. That's going to save me so much resources. Don't know if this is going to work as an actual greenhouse. To be honest, I don't really care. I want to have it like this. It looks like a real life greenhouse, if you know what I mean. The angled thin glass roof panes. Unfortunately, though, I am going to have to make a ton more glass to finish this off, but that's fine. Okay, and I should have enough of these shingles to finish off the roof. Got this section here and this section here, although now that I've been looking at it, I think I might have to extend this roof over one more block, just so that we have a bit more of an overhang. All right, let's try not to get shot. Let's put the last few in. Okay, well, that didn't work. Anyway, let's get some sleep. Well, we'll continue in the daylight. First, though, let's check. What have you got to trade? Oop, I did not mean to punch you. Sorry. Oh, okay, okay. Yep, he wants to fight. I need to sleep in here. Be chill. Alright, he does also have a resonator, which would be cool, but we're not bothered about that for now. Let's get some blue glass. Let's actually get 2 of each. They're only 1 gear? You know what? 4 lots of each. 16 pieces each. That's good. That's enough to do a little stained glass window if we can get... We'll collect some olivine from up there, then we'll have blue, green, and red glass. Mist. Okay, we're going to try and finish off this side of the roof. But before we do that, I want to play around with this. We can make a QP's chisel. If we check the durability, it's 2,000. This durability is 2,000. This durability... Enhanced version. I thought this was going to have a lot better durability. Because we're adding 4,000 and 2,000, 2,000. I thought this would be like 4,000. It might be better durability-wise. Oh, it doesn't consume the pantograph. Okay. It's better. It might be better. Okay, if I can stop falling off the roof for 10 seconds, we might actually be able to finish this side of the roof off. So, 1x2, second half. Not there. Right here, yes. There we go. It's done. And I didn't fall off. At least not those 3 blocks. Right, let's take a look. I'm going to have to do the underside of it, obviously, and seal it off. But let's take a look. It does come out a little bit too far, but it's definitely going to look better than the other side, where it's just almost completely flat. That looks more strange than it overhanging a little bit too much. Get these blocks in before we start freezing. Let's get that in there. And actually, I'm going to rejig these into walnut stripped instead of oak stripped because it just looks better. And it ties the roof in with the build. So this one's going to be stripped. And yeah. Then these we can have as this. We're going to need to plane them down, but I don't have the planer. Put those in. Jump. Control click. Gonna need some more scaffolding. Oh, you know, now it makes sense. I saw a little tip when I downloaded this mod that said it doesn't work with the QP's chisel, which confused me. And now I know. And I've just made a QP's chisel and I really can't use it with that mod. I just remembered that. Okay, let's warm up. And let's, you know what, I'm going to use this last bronze ingot and I'm going to make a chisel out of that. Alright, we'll have this turned into a chisel in no time. Also, by the way, I have 2 ingots of iron left. One of them's still a bloom. But, yeah, I cooked up all the iron that I got and brought back from the dungeon, the story dungeon. And got 2 ingots left after making a fresh hammer and a chisel and pantograph. It's not looking good, so after this, we're definitely going to have to go looking for... Oh, give me that. Going to have to go looking for fresh iron vein. Alright, check out the view from up here as well. It's, the view's coming along nicely. That building doesn't look too bad from over here either. And the little sectioned out roof's not too bad. So, it's coming along. I may have to start doing some different materials in the roofs because 1, 2, 3, 4 buildings have all got the exact same roofs. It does kind of tie like the builds together, but we are going to have to add some variation. Alright, that's not looking too bad, although we may have an issue because I planed all of these blocks down. There's going to be a gap in between, so I'm thinking we'll bring the planer back and we'll actually... pull these back out and knock that off. We'll match what we've done with this. Just stop falling off things, please. That certainly looks better than the other side. So I'm gonna do the same to the other side while it's dark. And then come daylight, I'm gonna go, in fact, no, while we've got the fading light now, I'm gonna go grab as much quartz as I can, cook up some more glass, we'll finish off the other side of the roof. And then, once we do that roof, oh, we also need to go get some more bricks, so I'll do that as well. Okay, you know what? After doing that, that kind of looks pretty good. How it thins out here, then it gets fatter there. I quite like that. Let's fill them in. That's not done. and we can check if this is actually going to be a greenhouse. I'm pretty certain it's not. And I'm pretty certain I don't really know how to check. I guess we can check the temperature, see if it goes up or down. Those are all done. None of this side is done, right? Apart from those two. Right, just a few more. 4 more, and that should be, I guess we do need to do that as well. Those are all done. Now, we can't put another layer. Usually with this, you can add another layer like the shingles or the wood. Can't do another, well, we might be able to add another layer, but we can't do it with glass. So we'll be leaving it like that. Right, what's the temperature out here? It is -9. Okay, let's quickly run inside. See if it changes. Close the doors. -8. Take that as a definite no. It's supposed to be like 5 degrees warmer, but I guess it's not going to work because these are not proper glass blocks. It's a modded roof, but it's all good. In the summer, we'll be able to grow stuff in here, so that's fine. It's mainly for looks, not really for practicability. Alright, that's better. So this whole section is done. It's all roofed, it's all windowed, just needs some doors. The roof is done. And this roof is also done. There is one more thing that I wanted to add over here. These red ceramic shingle beams. And we actually get 4 per thing, which is really nice. And we basically use these shingles to create some kind of a roof. Is that straight? This is going to be a problem to figure out if it's straight or not. But just like that, and then we do another one right next to it, and they should be so close, right, that it looks like a solid. Oh, we are getting a bit of clipping where you see the line, but it should look like a solid diagonal piece of roofing, which is really cool. I suppose we could just do that with the roofing mod now, but it's going to have the frames, which is not going to look quite right. So we're going to use shingle beams instead. And as long as hopefully, as long as I follow the same pattern, like top of the block here to the edge of the block here, it should all stay the same, and it should look half decent, semi-decent, and then we could then take another beam and cap it off with an outline. But I'm going to need a whole bunch more shingles to do this. We've run out already, so I'm going to need at least another stack or so. Alright, we're going to put some gravel in front of the shop so it looks nice and used, nice and walked over, and then we're going to make one of those display cases, or a couple of those display cases. I believe it was like that, and then sticks. Aha, take that one out, and we've got display case. It is unfortunately this ugly, horrible maple color, but it'll do for now. Then we'll probably add a few others, but we need to go and warm up. Okay, now I would have liked to have these a different material to the floor instead of just being larch, but we're taking them from the original cellar. Putting our cooling cabinets up here. I've also got the meat freezer from down there. We're going to throw that up here as well. This should work, that I've got some sticks. Right, we want 4 of these wall cabinets. And I'm thinking we have them either edge like that. Maybe something in the middle here, but I was hoping to do like an oven design. We may have to start working on that pretty soon. Let's see what other things we can use to fill out this place. Unfortunately, there's loads of cool little baskets and stuff like this, but unfortunately, they do not sit on chiseled blocks. Even if it's like an entire block, if it's chiseled, won't sit on it. Okay, 2 of the seed bins, which I think we'll have in between there, just to break it up. Do these have little animations, I wonder? Alright, let's also make one of these ceiling jars. These look pretty cool. And I think we can just plonk it there. Not sure what we can throw in here. Can we put just like anything in here? No. Throw some seeds in here. It actually gives you a pretty cool little display, and it looks like you can get multiple stacks in these. That's a whole stack, and it's taken up like a 1/5 of the thing. Pretty cool. These are little mushroom baskets that look really cool as plates, and you can put them on tables just like that. Now, obviously, I don't think these are going to work very well up here. It's not a cellar, it's just a big room, so I don't think they'll work particularly well, but it's mainly for storage, like extra storage, and for looks. Got something, what's the spoilage rate on this? 0.06, so it may actually be the same as down there. Can I put regular food in you? No. Okay, so the beautiful winter sunshine. Let's take a look at how we're getting on. I really like this strange angle of the roof. Like, I thought it was going to look bad, but it actually looks really good. Not the biggest fan of this. It looks kind of silly, but I do like how it breaks up. I can imagine it without that, and it's just a big rectangle. So it definitely needs something there to break it up. We could add something underneath, or some flower boxes. It still needs a little bit more work, a little bit more depth. But we are quickly, very quickly approaching the 200-hour mark. Anyway, I'm starving, and you may have noticed that I have been eating nothing but raw food, all raw vegetables, all this episode. Also, got some flax grain in here. Can hold actually tons, and it says it's fresh for 20 years, so we may actually be storing quite a lot of food up here. A couple of chests, which is amazing to have my inventory space back. I was going to make a couple more of these, of these cabinets, cooling cabinets, but we don't need them. Anyway, we need to top this episode off. And also, by the way, these. It's so cool when they open. I can't wait to get the new cabinets for the new update. The cabinets that they're bringing out in the new update. Okay, so I brought the clay ovens up here. We're going to do some cooking to finish off the episode. Also realized that you can store those crocks in here, in these wall cabinets. And I'm also going to try and make some kind of an oven, or an auger, which is like an old farm oven. That is not what I wanted to do. We need, oh yeah, we need dry grass. What am I doing? Okay, so the idea or the hope is to have 3 fires down here that we can cook on and that we can access from like a little sneaky peeky window type thing. And then we want to go in with some glass and basically fill in all of this. The one thing I am worried about though is this is logs, wood logs underneath, and I really hope that they don't burn with a big fire on top of them. That would be not very good. Can I? Oh, I need a hammer. Alright, so while we're chiseling away, keeping busy, let's get these ovens heated up. And we can start cooking some bread and some pies, and we can start filling out some of these display cases and making things look cool. So let's make some pies over here. I was curious, as soybeans a vegetable, can I mix soybeans with like onions and other vegetables? I'm guessing no. Yeah. That's a no. But we'll do a soybean pie and we'll do some veggie pies. Let's get going with the chiseling. So hammer in the offhand. So I want to have like a door. You know what? Let's get rid of that row there, and then we'll go back. We'll have a door there. Rotate the pie time. Let's throw some glass in both of these. So I was going to go with 2 doors, like a small door on the left and then have one big one, but I think actually it's probably going to look better as 3 doors, maybe. 2 regular sized and 1 tiny door. And I do want to add another block so that we can... Oh, let's not burn the pie. That is burnt already. That's not good. NANI? Question. Do I put pies in these? I do. Okay. Good to know. Let's also get some bread cooking up and we'll finish off this. Also, while we're here, let's just quickly do a pantograph copy of that. Oh, actually, you know what? That's what we need to do. We need to pull these out 1 extra. And then we need to trace around them. Then that's going to look a lot more like a door. And I also went and harvested some mushrooms. We can put these on these little mushroom baskets that look like plates. Also have egg versions. Which reminds me, we do need to do something about those chickens. They're getting really, really overrun in there. Vegetable baskets. So we can now place only vegetables. It is... onion is vegetable. I'm guessing it has to be all the same type, maybe? Turnip? Turnip, no? Can we mix and match the apples and pears, I wonder? Oh, we can. That's nice. Okay, that'll do. That'll do for now, I think. It's a bit overflown. Alright, guys, let's check the date. It's now January 4th. What year was that? 3. Year 3. Actually hasn't snowed for this entire winter. It's been like 2 months of winter. Hasn't snowed once, although the top of that is getting quite snowy. Hasn't actually properly snowed. But let's make the most of the 1 or 2 hours of daylight that we get in the winter time. And let's check out the build, because not only have I built this building over here, I've also built this building, which is probably the biggest, well, maybe the biggest of all the buildings. Not as big as that, but it's got more detail in it, so it kind of is the biggest. So let's check it out. We've got a little slanty roof. It's not great, to be honest. I thought it would look better than this, but it adds some interest, some different angles and stuff to the build, and hopefully complements it, brings it out a little bit. The beams I'll probably have to sort out, add some extra beams in here, but we're not going to worry too much about that. We've got our little displays enticing people into our shop. Eventually we will get a trader here, hopefully an agriculture trader or something, or we'll put him up here in the kitchen. We've got lots of displays up on the kitchen, flour. I do actually have some flour in this now. It says it's going to be fresh for 25 years. That's crazy. Mushroom baskets, got some chests, the coolers, and I have actually finished the auger now. I still have bread in the oven, but we have our little glass windows, little glass doors, and we have a little hole that we can look through and use these fire pits to cook from. I don't quite know if I'm going to be able to light it through this hole. Can I? Seems like it. Seems like it. Now, hopefully that doesn't burn the whole house down, because that's on wood. But it looks really cool. It definitely would be a shame if it all burned down. But yeah, the cabinets looking pretty good. These were actually surprisingly easy to do. I wish I'd done that in the original kitchen design, to be honest. But yeah, it's all in all, it's really come together. It's really looking quite fancy, to be honest. It looks better than I thought it would. I thought I'd have to spend considerably more time on this. It's cooking, it's working. Nothing else seems to have caught fire, so I think we're good. Supervisor approves. I still need to put a bed up here, and I still need to go back to the story thing and get all of the trinkets and stuff so we can decorate our rooms a bit better. This is pretty much finished. I've had to steal a lantern from the lantern shop. In fact, I've had to steal multiple, and I still don't have enough. We desperately need a couple of lanterns for this area because it gets really, really dark over by the ovens. I might even add a couple of extra ovens just to make things go a bit quicker when cooking. This area down here is kind of basic, but it's just going to be like a sitting, eating area. And then in here, we're going to have the wine cellar. Eventually, this will be like all barrels full of wine or juice, or just empty barrels maybe. We'll have some shelves with some jugs and stuff. And then down here, we'll have like a proper wine bar, which will then connect up to the storage, the underground cellar storage for the bakery. And we'll try and move all of our food supplies over. Also, I really like this. I've kind of taken pieces out so it's not completely straight, and that looks really good. I'm going to have to do that with more builds. Try and make things less blocky, less just completely straight cubes and rectangles. Although this kind of looks good as a cubey rectangle. It's the little details, like the little chips out of the corners, that make things look even better. Unfortunately, this roof thing Not my best idea, gotta say, not my best idea, but it does add some interest to the build and breaks up the pattern, so again, it's not just a complete rectangle. Alright, well it's looking good, but no shop is complete without a sign. So here I've got myself 2 signs. We've got a restaurant sign for the downstairs section, and we've got a steaming loaf of bread sign. That definitely is a steaming loaf of bread and not something else. Not the best designs, I'm going to work on these, but I just wanted to get some signs down to make it official. Also got a couple on this side as well. And we can also throw down a cooling cabinet downstairs here, as well as a couple of these tabletop display cases, which are pretty cool. And I think we can just put baked goods in here, but it's good enough. It'd be nice if we could put some fruit and veg in here as well, but baked goods looks good enough. Okay, and up here with the morning sun is looking really nice, really fancy. I'm surprisingly proud of this. I didn't think we would do something quite as nice in quite short a time. This is probably less time to build than the windmill, to be honest, and that blows my mind because it's been a lot of work, but not as much time as I thought it would be. And speaking of time, unfortunately, I think the episodes are going to have to slow down from now on. Not only am I trying to put more effort, more content into the videos, but because of my wrist injury, I can't play as much, and I have to use a controller, which means everything just goes slower because I'm not very good with a controller, and it's just slower in general because you're not quite so accurate. Also, one more thing before we call it a day. This whole time, you may have, some of you may have seen it, but there's been a little sneaky surprise hiding, and over here we have a little Bush 003,000 for you. Yes, Soupervisor approves. Unfortunately, though, that's all we got time for in this episode. I'll try and ditch this stupid hat for the next one, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.